Okay, let me ask you something. What if the real secret to winning in the markets was actually getting really, really good at losing? I know it sounds completely backward, but that is the core idea from Tom Hougaard's amazing book, Best Loser Wins. And we're going to unpack it right now. Let's get into it. So, before we go any further, we really have to face a pretty harsh reality about the world of trading. It all starts with one big, scary number. Yeah, 80%. You can look at brokerage data, you can look at academic studies. They all pretty much land on this same brutal number. About 80% of people who try retail trading, they consistently lose. They come in, they're full of hope, they're passionate, and they walk away with basically nothing. So that leads to the obvious question, right? The big one. What are the other 20% know? What's their secret? Is it some magic indicator? Are they just smarter than everyone else? Well, the answer? It's probably not what you're expecting. See, this is the trap that almost everyone falls into. The belief that the answer is just more knowledge. If I just study one more book, watch one more video, find the right guru, then I'll finally crack the code. So you get these endless questions, right? How do I scalp? What's the secret to Ichimoku charts? How do I find that perfect pattern? It's all about the how-tos. People think the missing piece is some technical trick, but they're not even looking at the right puzzle. And get this, the author, Tom Hougaard, tells this killer story. There was this famous trading guru, right? Sold out these expensive weekend courses and, surprise, surprise, he also owned a brokerage that he pushed all his students to use. So Hougaard went and looked up the official stats for that brokerage. And what do you think the failure rate was? Yup, over 80%. The very people teaching the secrets couldn't create winners. Okay, so if more technical knowledge is not the answer, then what is? Well, here it is. This is the main point of the whole book. The real fight, it isn't with the market. It's not with the charts or the news. The real enemy is your own brain. He uses this brilliant analogy to explain the problem. He calls it supermarket thinking. Think about it. You go to the supermarket, your favorite toilet paper is 50% off. What do? It's a bargain. You load up the cart, right? That's just smart, everyday logic. But if you take that exact same logic into the market, you get absolutely wrecked. A stock that drops 50% is not a bargain. It's a screaming fire alarm that something is fundamentally broken. And there's actually a name for this mental glitch. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's that awful, squirmy feeling you get when two of your beliefs clash, like, I'm a smart person, but also my trade is losing a ton of money. And to make that bad feeling go away, your brain does the worst possible things. It makes you hold on to your losers, just hoping they'll come back and prove you were right all along. And it makes you cut your winners way too early because you're terrified of losing that little profit you have. Think about this tightrope analogy. Anyone can learn to walk a tightrope if it's just a foot off the ground, right? No big deal. But can you do that same walk when that same tightrope is 100 feet in the air? The task is identical, but the pressure changes everything. That is the real test of a trader. Okay, so we've established the problem. Our brains are basically sabotaging us. So what's the fix? Well, this is where we get to the core idea of the book, and it's going to require you to flip your entire perspective on what trading is all about. There's this fantastic quote about Tiger Woods. Another pro golfer, Luke Donald, was asked about him, and he said Tiger's real superpower wasn't his perfect swing. It was his incredible ability to hit a terrible shot, and by the time he walked to the next ball, it was completely gone from his mind. Total amnesia. That's the mindset. That is elite-level emotional control. And that brings us right back to the main point. Your goal isn't to be the best winner. It's not about trying to be perfect. Your goal is to be the best loser. To be the person who can take a small, planned loss, feel absolutely nothing, and just move on. Just like Tiger after a bad shot. And this is the crazy psychological inversion that happens inside our heads. Just think about it. When you're in a winning trade, what do you feel? You feel fear. You're scared to death you're going to lose those profits. And when you're in a losing trade, you're filled with hope. Oh, it's got to turn around. Our emotions are completely 100% backward for making money. So what this means is we have to completely throw out that old saying that everyone knows. You know the one. Buy low, sell high. That's supermarket thinking, and it gets 80% of traders killed. The new mindset, the profitable mindset, is about trend following. It's buy high and sell even higher, or sell low and cover even lower. You don't fight the trend, you ride it.
Okay. So this all sounds good in theory, right? But the real question is, how do you actually start to do it? How do you really rewire your brain to act this way under pressure?
Well, Hougaard lays out a few really practical steps. Number one, he says you need to create a book of truth. This means you literally print out your charts and you draw on every single trade, the good, the bad, the ugly. You have to face your actual behavior. Number two, and this is a hard one, you have to practice adding to your winners. It feels completely wrong, but it's the only way to train your brain to stop being afraid of profit. And finally, number three, you have to stop looking at your P&L all day. Focus on your process. Your only job is to execute your system flawlessly. The money will take care of itself. And this quote from an old pit trader just says it all, doesn't it? 99% still don't get it. When they win, they start betting less. He says you gotta bet more. When the market is telling you you're right, that's when you're supposed to press your bets. That's when you step on the gas, not the brakes. Ultimately, this is the identity you're trying to build. You want to become a process-oriented trader. What does that mean? It means you literally do not care about the outcome of any single trade. Win, lose, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters, the only question you ask yourself at the end of the day is, did I follow my plan perfectly? That's it. That's the whole game.
Which brings us to the final and most important question of all. Because what this book really teaches us is that the journey isn't about figuring out the market. It's about figuring out yourself. So I'll leave you with this. Are you ready to stop trying to trade the market and finally start trading yourself?